Hi, Hayley here from Earth Mama Essentials. I just wanted to share some tips with you guys. I work a lot with women in my business, and there's a general consensus, I guess, going on at the moment where women are feeling quite disconnected from their own body, maybe complaining a little bit of like a low libido or just no interest in their own sexuality or enjoyment in any way. They often will state that they feel numb to that, and I have felt these ways before. I've breastfed two babies, gone through pregnancies, and being in relationships that maybe weren't serving my real truth over the years, and just there's lots of reasons why one can feel this way. So I just it'd be nice to share a video and maybe just share some ideas on how we can shift that and move back in toward a space of pleasure. So the first thing, I guess, is just to realise that this isn't something we should feel shame or guilt about. Often a gentle awareness that this is going on for us without having to add extra stuff to it, an extra story to it, is a really good place to start. So just owning it, maybe even saying it to yourself or to your partner that, this, just voicing it, giving it a bit of a voice and say that this is how you're feeling and what's going on for you, can just create so much space around you, take the pressure off, and often that can shift it on its own. So that's the first step for sure. Not feeling expectations or pressure and things like that is a big part of it. Then I think there's secondly just wanting to reclaim this. This is actually our birthright for pleasure. Pleasure is our birthright. We were born to experience this life and experience pleasure, and we've been a little bit maybe programmed out of that belief over the years. Maybe our first experience of sex education was sending the boys out or the girls out while the other sex learnt to put condoms on bananas and spoke about what STDs you might catch and how not to get pregnant and all of that, but we're not taught about pleasure. We're not taught about intimacy really at all. We have to kind of fumble our way through and try and discover that in our own time, hopefully. We have been exposed to high expectations regarding the way a female body looks, a male should look, what's acceptable, how it looks like under lights and porn and things like that. So we generally don't get a pretty good run as far as reclaiming our right to pleasure, our birthright, and I think that this is one of the things that I'm quite passionate about because I've been through it. I know what it can feel like to be completely disconnected from it. So the first thing, I guess, apart from the honouring and the ownership, is starting to say no when your body's saying no, and yes when your body's saying yes. So really honouring the boundary of how your body is conversing with you. And the first way you could do that is probably one of the best ways to communicate to your body that you're ready to reclaim this is to put your hands on your body. So when I say put your hands on your body, I'm actually not meaning the typical way our minds are programmed to think, oh, she's talking about masturbation. Actually, I'm not. I'm not talking about masturbation. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that we have this expectation that that's going to be what happens when we touch our body. We have to have that as a result or a goal. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually making a connection back to your physical body. So you're affirming through your hands some feeling of worth and love and respect and honouring. So this isn't just for women. A lot of men I speak to, a lot of friends of mine even, when we talk openly, honestly about their sex life, it can be, maybe pre-ejaculation or just a feeling of unable to pleasure a woman. They don't know what they're doing and things like that. And there's a high expectation of what they're meant to be doing. So I think that if we can use our own hands and come in and connect back into our own body, we're going to have a lot more of a communication going on, that we can be able to change things like that and be more effective when we're with other people. So if we've got that good connection when we're with ourselves, we can then take that into the world and be in that space. So yeah, just being with your body. So when I say be with your body, I'm talking about setting the tone. I like putting on some music. One of the quickest ways to remove that initial maybe awkwardness that you'll feel with just sort of going to bed with yourself and starting to massage your body or feel what's good is music. You can break that barrier a little bit and bring some music in. So a lot of people say that they like listening to, that their version of sex music would be like R&B, bumping and grinding and stuff. Then you've got like your Led Zeppelin, your guitars and electric guitar sounds, and then you've got your sort of slow indie, Ben Howard, Bon Iver sort of stuff. You might be a country music fan and just want to put on some June Carter and Johnny Cash or something, I don't know. Everyone's different. There's no rules. We've all got this unique way of expressing through music and speaking with music as a language. So you put on whatever turns you on, whatever makes you feel really kind of in your heart, in your body, and makes you love it. And use your hands very intentionally. It's not like just getting some oil or something and kind of going, oh, I'm just going to rub in the oil and then I'm done. It's about the intention. So when I massage people or do body work or whatnot, any part of the body is a part of the body. It's the intention that where you're holding and how the body is speaking to you and how present you are to listen to what the body's saying to you, and you'll know when it's liking it, when it's not liking it. So you might think you already know what you like and what turns you on, but often we know this only in relationship to someone else or someone else being in the room. But it's nice to get to know what you like when you're on your own. It can be different from what you enjoy with someone. So yeah, play with that and get to know that a lot. Your body will start talking to you. You'll know when your body is a yes and when your body is a no because you've got a clear communication with it. Using scent and massage oil, I use my doTERRA fractionated coconut oil. In the shower, I can use it plain and just have the music on and just be moving through my body and dancing and just being with myself. And yes, it might be awkward for you to even think about doing this, but if you make a start and you be playful, just be playful. Let the inner child come out and move out of your head and just into enjoyment and letting yourself enjoy that moment. That can be a way to start opening to pleasure again. So another thing is just getting out into nature. I find we get a little bit habitual with our daily routines and night routines and stuff. So we could go to bed in the same spot every night, do the same thing, just sometimes it's good to go out and lay under the stars or climb a tree or go watch the sunset, or just shifting it up a bit and eating dinner in a different place or doing something different is really good, because when you can play with each other and you can play with life, you usually will switch into this childlike curiosity and wonder and creative play feeling that is your libido, essentially. That's when you can play with someone in that way, you usually can play with them in that way, meaning that you're feeling safe and open and it's a safe place. So, and it's actually what you're born to do. So yeah, that's helpful. So, if you're trying to increase your libido or create a different connection with your own body or increase your sex drive or sexual encounter with your partner or whatever, do all these things, but don't do them with an expectation. So don't touch each other with an expectation of sex. Leave all the goals and the expectations out. Not like, let's go out on a date, hun, because it might make us want to have sex more, or let's walk into the forest and get into nature because we might get aroused there and have sex with the tree, not with the tree, and the trees, not with them. Although that could work for some. So yeah, take the result and the expectation, the goal out, and just be in the state of pleasure of being in that moment together. It's definitely needed. And also another thing I think is, where are you denying yourself of pleasure in other areas of your life? So, often when we are not in this space of pleasure, it's because we're not open to receive pleasure in any form, or we're in a space of denial of pleasure, or deprivation is a good word, actually. So where are you depriving yourself? Are you not going out and giving yourself some time to yourself? Are you depriving yourself of something that you really enjoy and love? Are you banging your head up against the wall because you're eating the wrong foods or doing the wrong thing, and not allowing yourself to just be in a pleasure zone in other areas of your life, you know. And honestly, look at that. I think that your relationship with food says a lot to your pleasure, and how you're trying to control your pleasure or get it in a certain way, or it's only good in some ways but not in other ways. And, you know, there's a lot of stories that we create or are given to us over the years about our pleasure, and food is one of the first relationships that we have in regards to how we feel pleasure in our body. So it's a very big one. So yeah, you could explore that. It probably is deserving of its own video, really. It's a big topic. But yeah, at least ask yourself that question. Yeah, so I think I've covered a fair bit, you know. Just know that this is an individual journey, you know. Maybe get out of our mind of what it's meant to look like, you know. To have good sex with someone, it has to look like this, or to be comfortable and loving in our own bodies, we have to be having sex with the lights on and being all confident and whatnot. That's not true. That's a story. Sometimes the darkness and that discovering place in the dark can be exactly what we need in the moment, where we think that it's got to be all under lights and what we see on TV, and you know, maybe what we're doing when we're at a, you know, like a sex or tantra weekend or a sexuality workshop or something. We might be feeling like that's the only way to portray that we're on this journey and we're doing this, is to be extroverted with it. But it can be a very intimate, or should be a very intimate and slow and gentle and personal journey that I find for it to be have more substance. It's often nicer to go from the nice safety of the darkness into the light, or, you know, just gently. So don't give yourself too much pressure, or be hard on yourself as to what it should look like. Just create your space and your time, and that will then open and expand and lead into more, and then that will open and expand and lead into more. So just be gentle. Okay, so I think that will do for now. Hopefully, if I think of any more tips, I'll just add them in. But yeah, lots of love to you all, and I hope this video has reminded you of your worth and your birthright, and to reclaim that shit, because it is yours. Okay, lots of love.